Good afternoon, folks. Chief Meteorologist Nick Lilliga here with a look at your tropical update for September 25th of 2018, brought to you by Tropical Pool and Spa. The names, well, we haven't had a new name yet, so we're still waiting for Michael to show up. Unfortunately, it looks like, according to the National Hurricane Center, we got a 50-50 chance we end up with a tropical depression, which may eventually turn into Michael. We still have warm temperatures, not only out into the open Atlantic, but also into the Gulf of Mexico. As noted yesterday, we've got a lot of buoys that are actually missing data in here, unfortunately. Hopefully, as we head through the winter, we'll get those back for next season. Not much happening into the Gulf of Mexico right now. We're down into the Caribbean. You can see that little swirl out here. Here's one area of interest. Here's the remnants of Kirk. And then we've got Leslie floating around up here. Well, the remnants of Leslie. I think it's technically post-tropical now. It's going to kind of go back and forth through the next couple of days. So the area of most interest to the United States right now is Invest 98L. The poor folks in the Carolinas are looking off the coast. Yet another tropical system out here, a 50-50 chance as we head through the next 2 to 5 days that we see development out of this. So that would be a tropical depression or a tropical storm. I don't think that they're going to go with any potential tropical cyclone watches or warnings along the coast, but it is something we've got our eye on as we head through the next couple of days. We've got tropical wave Kirk out here because it's what's left of Kirk from a few days ago. We don't have any information on this as it's just an open wave anymore. With wind at about 40 miles an hour. Area of interest in here, a 60% chance that we see redevelopment of Kirk as it travels toward the Greater and Lesser Antilles. The National Hurricane Center noting a little bit earlier today, even if we don't get reorganization within Kirk, it's still going to bring showers and thunderstorms to the Greater and Lesser Antilles. I've heard from a lot of folks saying, oh, I'm going on a cruise, going on vacation, and what have you down to the islands. If you're headed down that direction, keep your eye on Kirk. The good news is, notice how all the clouds are going to kind of sprayed back from southwest to northeast. We got a little trough, little shearing action in here. Whatever happens with Kirk, as it enters this shearing action, it's probably going to get sheared apart. I will say the models do take it through that area into the western Caribbean. Not many of them make it that far. If it is to get into this area and it still has something left of itself, we may have to continue to watch it, but if it gets sheared apart and gets pulled to the north and ends up crossing over a lot of the islands, we'll have less to worry about when it comes to Kirk here locally. 98L, I show this not because it's turning and going out to sea, that's good news, but mainly because once you get out here far enough, a lot of the models take this thing back down to the south and around this ridge of high pressure that's out here. We'll have to see if we end up with something like that, because if it does go back off to the south, it may roll around the south side of this ridge and may become a problem for parts of Florida. Our GFS doesn't show this happening. It just has it getting kind of pulled away by a cold front that's out there. But nevertheless, it is something we'll keep an eye on. Here's Kirk down here and Leslie up here. Kirk gets kind of sheared apart according to the GFS and rides a little further to the north. Because of that, it drags across the islands of Puerto Rico, Hispaniola, and Cuba and gets eaten up. We've got Leslie out here looking rather stout, but wavering between tropical, subtropical, and post-tropical. And then the waves that are coming off of Africa are really starting to slow down as well. I mean, look at this thing. This is huge up here in terms of your low-level spin, your low-level vorticity, but it's not really going to be bothering anybody. We get dry air into parts of the Atlantic and into the Gulf of Mexico as we head through the next couple of days, which should help us out. We do end up with a little feature here as we head toward the 5th of October, but that's pretty far out, and it's something we'll have to keep an eye on at that point. But until then, nothing really to write home about happening out here in the tropics. So there's your tropical update for September 25th of 2018. Brought to you by the good folks at Tropical Pool and Spa.